Good morning. It is much warmer in here.
Yeah, I was looking for a restaurant.
Oh, right in here.
Oh, you have here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do I have to sign in or anything?
No, ma'am. We're going to stay right in here. We're, in reality, no one's allowed in the back because of sensitivity with materials and computers and such. So this is where we're going to be. Well, actually, we'll go in that room right in there. But there's bathrooms right here, men and women's, right here, right here. And they're clean. And there's a water fountain right there.
Thank you.
Good morning. You do recognize me, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
I do.
We don't converse. We've never had occasion to converse, so I don't know whether he recognizes me or not, because I split my time between the high school and the middle school.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It's good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
I'm
This is
Sujata. I'm Sujata Hampton.
I'm sorry, what's the last name?
Hampton.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Officer Murren.
Nice to
How
meet
are you?
Murren, nice to
Yes,
with
ma'am.
us, with and I.
Okay, that's fine.
So we're going to be speaking, I guess, in this room?
Yes, ma'am. We'll go right in there.
Great.
Because the rest of the building is secure for VSEN and other, right. Right. Yes, ma'am. There's the restroom right there if you need it.
Well, we'll get started.
Oh, okay. Well, come on in.
Thank you.
Let me
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to, and we leave the door open, but I need to move this around. We need to pull a chair around. I need a chair without arms because of all the stuff that I wear.
Okay.
Go ahead. No. You can sit next to your mom. You go right here. That's fine.
Well, I'll sit here.
Okay. Okay. So, again,
Do you want to sit outside? Okay, so.
yeah, that's up to him. My conversation's really between you and I, because I looked into it, and as a parent, if people were talking about my child and my child's behavior, I would want to know about what people are saying would be saying about my child's behavior.
So what brought you to this case? Because this is mid-October and it happened September 20th.
Right. Well,
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that recorder on?
yes, ma'am.
Are we allowed to record this
Ooh,
as well?
yeah, I don't care.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we should leave it. Well, if you want to close, we can
Well,
close it.
but-
That's up to you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could,
So would you
don't know if I
record
could
as
stop.
well?
Sure.
Awesome.
Mine is the Herndon Police Department has body cams.
Yes.
We wear body cams.
Yes.
We're required by policy to record everything.
Which I think is great.
Right, very
Protects
expensive.
you.
Very expensive.
Very expensive, but
Very
it protects
expensive.
you and it
Right.
protects us, so
Right.
I think it's great.
Right. So,
What led you to?
why did it take so long?
No. It happened September 20th.
Correct.
And what led you? How did you lead to investigate?
So it would have been last Monday. Last Monday, and I'd have to look at the calendar. So that I don't know last Monday. The principal of Herndon Middle School.
Mr. Hoffman?
No, Miss Clenna. Miss
Okay.
Clenna. My understanding is, factually, she was not at the school when this happened. She was out that week. She was not at the school when this happened. So last Monday, she had me come in her office, and she explained that she had had a meeting with you, and I don't know if you were there or not,
Yes.
and that in the conversations that you had with her, you out loud voiced that either were the police called or why weren't the police called or notified. I don't know exactly the words. She expressed that to me, and that you, and I'm assuming now you, watched video with her of the bus incident and exclaimed, "That's an assault."
Miss Clenna.
This is what she said to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
So with the Herndon Police Department, and then they showed me the video. And from watching the video, aside from the incident, it was clear that the bus was not on school property any longer, that it was in the town. And if it's in the town, then that's the Herndon Police Department's responsibility to investigate incidents.
I see. So you
Possibly
had all of it was Herndon town.
Correct. It wasn't on school property. It had left school property and it was in the town. So then it becomes, now I'm watching what appears to be an assault. I have an obligation to check into things. So that's how it came to my attention, and that's why the Herndon Police Department is involved. Now, my duties are split between Herndon High School and Herndon Middle School. That's my full-time job.
Okay. As the SRO in both the schools?
Right, assisting the county. The county has SROs in each school. They have SROs in every middle school and high school.
Right.
About 3 years ago, the town decided to make the capital investment to have an officer assist. With all the shootings going on, around the country.
You assist like you're on call where there's a problem?
No. I'm there. My permanent job is to assist these county SROs.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, the idea is to keep bad people out, right? To keep bad people out, and so if an officer's on the inside, and then for like in some examples I give parents all the time, if the county SRO is sick, or in court, someone's always there.
Okay.
You don't get that benefit anywhere else in Fairfax County. If the officer at West Springfield High School, for example, is gone, it's empty. There's no one there. So that's my job. So I watch the tape, and then from watching the tape, again, we investigate incidents. From watching the tape, I could see that there were other children clearly on the school bus. And was the next day I started identifying the other children on the school bus, then reached out to their parents to get permission to speak with those children. Some of the parents were aware of what had happened, some of the parents were not aware. In other words, their children didn't go home and tell them. So I brought in quite a few children that were sitting in and around the back half of the school bus.
And you brought them in to talk to them about this assault?
Correct.
Okay.
Excuse
Correct.
me, I have a question. Can we
Correct.
get this over here? So did you bring them into the Herndon Police Station?
No, at school.
Oh,
At school.
okay.
At school, after getting their parents' permission. I'm not going to talk to a child without parental permission. And then from there, they're all told not perfectly exact stories, but extremely similar stories about your son's behavior.
I have a question before you get into that. Is here,
Mm-hmm.
well, we're here
Mhm.
at the Herndon Police Station.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying the incident of assault did not happen on school property.
Correct.
So why weren't the other children brought to the Herndon Police Station as well?
It occurred it was a school issue, and then it became a police issue the moment the principal indicated that you made inquiries whether or not we've been called, and then I looked at it. For the convenience of those children and their parents, it was brought to their attention. They gave me permission, so that's
My
that.
question was, we're here at the Herndon Police Station.
Right.
And you've stated that this was not on school property.
Correct.
The other children you spoke with went to the school, Herndon Middle School.
Correct.
For you to question them. We're here at the Herndon Police Station.
Okay.
Why couldn't we meet you at the Herndon Middle School like the rest of the children?
Well, in this particular, it's not a school issue. At this point, it's not a school issue.
Okay.
At this point, it's two separate things. There's a school, they do whatever they do, and now there's a police department.
So did you call Ms. Barstow in? Or did you request her
no,
to meet?
So after I learned everything, I reached out. We played phone tag a few times. I reached out, told her that I had checked into it, and told her that I would like to meet with her.
Okay.
Because these children had said some things, and the exact words I said were, if these children were talking about my child, I would want to know.
So I then asked,
They described very disturbing behavior about her son. And I said, as a parent, I would want to know if it were my child.
Okay, so now I'm assuming then you're called them in not about the assault. You've moved past the assault?
Yes, ma'am, that's closed. That's done. That's closed.
Have you
The
seen
Commonwealth
the video
Attorney,
of
the
the child?
Commonwealth Attorney doesn't prosecute for 12 and 13-year-olds.
Yeah, as he should not.
Right,
I mean,
exactly,
yes,
exactly.
yes.
So this conversation was just to let you know what what occurred, your child's behavior on that bus, according to all these children.
Did
So
you
when-
speak to, yes,
My question, I suppose, is this. So, now, I don't know, we couldn't hear. We
Right.
could just see.
Right.
So kids are saying, the colleague says, obviously, you said there said some stuff about his behavior. So
Right.
I'm just wondering, do you know, because we aren't getting any feedback regarding what happened regarding the fact that was assaulted on the bus. Because was assaulted on the bus, regardless of a and that may
Was not assaulted. The other child was defending himself. He's the offender. He committed an assault, causing that child to respond in such a way. There was assault and battery. He was committing an assault without the battery prior to that other child reacting the way that child reacted. He is listed as the offender. He is the offender.
because of what he said.
Because of what he was saying, how he said it, and how he positioned himself in front of that child. And at one point, he was touching that child, poking that child, moving that child's chest, his breast up and down, calling him fat, calling him the N-word, challenging him to get up and fight, telling that child, get up and fight, I will mess you up, calling him the N-word, using the F-word several times, telling him what'll happen, get up and swing, I'll mess you up, calling him the N-word. When he got on the bus, the children said his behavior towards that child started almost right away. The other children said to each other, I guess this is turn to get bullied. They all then complained how he almost every day picks a child to bully in such a fashion.
Okay, now.
Most every day.
That-
Which mom needs to hear this.
Yes.
Or she can
I-
choose not to hear.
Yes,
So,
yes, I-
and because he moved from the back where he was seated, and then he positioned himself in front of that child with his legs in the aisle. Okay, that child's in the back of the bus. That child has no place to go. And as, again, that child's perceptions would be, my perceptions would be,
That he should attack him or that?
that it's coming back and I have the right to defend himself, and that child does.
The child does have a right to
Yes,
defend
ma'am.
him like that?
Yes, ma'am.
So, let me just let just put that on pause here, just put a pin in that. In a different incident at Herndon Middle School involving a different child, this is actually an actual incident, but I'm just saying. There was a child who has been repeatedly by various people called the N-word, a black child. And in every admonition, school administrators there have told this girl that now, if you retaliate, if you retaliate, this will be you. This will be on you. They've told her many, many times. She has been admonished about that. So I'm just not.
The difference would be not knowing that circumstance. If you're in a position to walk away, if for example, if someone's across the street yelling these things to you, or if you're in the hallway of a school and someone is saying these things to you, and you have a left or right or a way to back out of it, that perhaps would be
understand that.
right. That right.
So-
But when you're on the bus and you're in the back of the bus, and a child moves up in front of you, it's got no place to go.
Okay, so I can even understand that.
Right.
So my
Words matter.
words matter, of course they
The
do.
First Amendment is not an absolute.
Okay, so
In circumstances like this, the First Amendment is not an absolute.
Please just
Right?
let me speak.
Okay.
I'm absolutely
Right.
aware of that.
This is where mom should be speaking.
I need to clarify something, because the only reason I'm here is because mom is having issues of not being able to fully articulate what she needs to say, or just needing a witness to various interactions she's having with people. And I'm new to this. It's only been like a week and a half or something that I've seen this, what's happening.
Right. I mean, it happened on the 20th.
Yeah.
I mean, I can explain why.
I want.
And we can go back to why I wasn't told on the 20th. And that does go back to what the juvenile court, we don't want to criminalize our children.
Of course.
Right. So we don't want the police called in all
course not.
instances. Right.
Ms. Hampton was making a point.
I don't know how to say exactly, but I'm completely confused as to the doubling down posture and your words and the whole, you're doubling down when I don't know, and I mean, we'll let him talk, and I'm sure he'll say
Right.
something, but we do know about what we saw with our
Mhm,
own eyes.
mhm.
We can extrapolate out based on just everything we know about the way things tend to happen if it had been reversed. If the other boy had been doing the same things they did. No, I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying, understand, I'm not saying he doesn't have a pattern. I don't know. I'm saying if it had been reversed and this child or any other black child had been pounding on another white child in the same manner that was happening, it's hard to imagine that the justice would be meted out in the same way. It's hard to imagine, which is sort of like what I'm hearing and feeling, my instincts
Okay.
are telling me that.
Well, I'm not going to discuss that anymore with you. You're totally out of line with that regard. Okay. Now, all of these are not anything that I observed. This is what these other children said.
And so the children.
All independent witnesses on their own. Some of them, quite frankly, said they're afraid of your child.
But some of them have reached out
Okay.
and have said that, expressed their concern, worried about him. Are you okay? You really got, that don't
Okay.
seem to have that same.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
I would like a copy of the police report.
You would have to file a FOIA report, a copy for that, because we don't.
Who does
We
that
don't.
go to?
Through the court. You have to go through the court, and you would have to go through to and then present. You know what? If you ask the people at records here exactly the steps to follow, they would go through that. They just don't hand them out. It's not public information, so they require a FOIA for everything, for just so it doesn't open up Pandora's box.
Now,
As far as, because if they give to one, then they would have to give to all. So they make everybody go through a Freedom of Information Act.
Okay, and did you interview the boy?
No, I did not. I did not interview. Everything is solely based on the children sitting around, what they observed and what they heard. So it's not a he said, she said. That there's no bias on the part of all the other children sitting around of multicolor.
Aren't you curious though about what it has to say?
There are no.
Okay.
No.
May I have
There
your
are
business card?
there are some personal things with that child that I'm not free to express.
Okay.
There may be things with your child
May I have
that
a
that
card?
complicated the issue.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That complicated the issue.
May I have
Right.
a police card from
Yeah.
you with your information and a case number?
Yes, ma'am. I'll go ahead. I had it memorized at one point, but not anymore. Yes, ma'am. So I'll go ahead and I'll get that for
Do you
you.
have any more questions before we go?
I don't know if it'd be worthwhile to ask. So.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Or what do you have to say about what? Do you have anything to say?
No,
What do you
we
say?
don't. Thank you so much. And I was recording this.
That's fine.
Thank you. Alrighty, let's, I don't know, wanna move that? Thank you, I'll wait for the, now it's called, now where's
The
the
acronym
records?
is FOIA.
FOIA, okay.
Freedom of Information. Right. And I don't know how. Right. You just need to
point
ask.
me in the direction of the
This
records.
window right there.
Oh, okay, great. And I'll wait for the case number so I can get it.
Oh, I'm going to walk right out to get it.
Okay, thank you. Hold on, didn't put your hand. Well, it has to hold the door.
No, I'm going to let the door close,
Oh,
but I didn't
okay.
want it to, it's a heavy door. I didn't want it to swing and hit.
Okay, thank you.
That's records. Right,
things.
now, I scratched out the mailbox number because I don't have mailbox number, but that's,
Okay.
but the email on there I get all the time,
Oh,
okay? And as well as I have a school email.
I think I've actually seen you at the school. You look familiar.
I stay outside a lot.
Okay.
If bad people are coming, generally they're gonna come from the outside and come in, so I try to be outside a lot. Oh, okay. I'll find, she's on the phone, I'll find somebody that can explain for you. Turning off body one camera.